What's going on, fragrance family? It's your man Gator, better known as the novice nose out here in these fragrance streets. Over the last few years, clone fragrances have definitely left their mark on the fragrance community here. A niche house or a designer house will come out with this fragrance, and the DNA is just so beautiful or so alluring that people desire to have it. And the ducats aren't always in the right position to go and spend $300 on a fragrance, or heck, sometimes even $150 on a fragrance. So what'll happen is we start looking for that same DNA but at a cheaper price, and that's where a lot of these clones come in. I like to call them inspired buys most of the time, but 9 times out of 10 they're not going to be an exact dupe of the exact duplicate or clone of the fragrance DNA that they're going after. They'll have that same DNA, but there'll be some subtle changes here and there. There's not a whole lot of one-to-one clones out there. Well, one of the fragrance DNAs that has been so hyped and so beloved beloved and maligned actually over the last 4 or 5 years is Cedratboise. So the house of Mancera is known for putting out these long-lasting citrusy type of fragrances, and that one is no different. Matter of fact, I believe that Cedratboise is really the fragrance that put Mancera on the map. I actually have it right here. So this is the Cedratboise right here. Let me put it up to the screen here so you can see. Go ahead and focus. There we go. I see a little dent in there. Cedratboise is a popular fragrance. It's a good fragrance. It's a solid fragrance. It's got that fruity notes at the top. It's really, really nice. It's got that leather in it. It's a really masculine scent, right? And it's a A1 compliment getter, right? Especially in the fall and in the winter time, man, this is one of those citrus fragrances that actually does kind of shine in the fall, and it can go in the winter time because of that leather in it, because of the moss and the woods in it. I think it has cedar. It's a really good fragrance for those types of things, man. But it's lovely. Well, this fragrance is one that not a lot of people tried to clone, and I was a little kind of taken back by that there weren't a lot of people who were trying to clone. You see a lot of Aventus clones. You got more Aventus clones than you can actually count, but you don't see a whole lot of them trying to go after Cedratboise. Now, is it because Cedratboise itself was inspired by Aventus? It's kind of hard to say, but there was one house that decided that they wanted to come after them, and you guessed it, Paris Corner, Emir, that whole line. I talk a lot about how Maison Alhambra tries to do the Lord's work. Paris Corner is right there on the side of Peter. Well, they took a crack at Cedratboise, and they took a crack at it in an interesting way. And to be completely honest, this is one inspired by a fragrance that I actually, spoiler alert, like better than the original, and it gets more compliments than the original. This right here is Cedratessence. If you see the bottle here, Cedratessence from Paris Corner. You see the bottle, and you can see this isn't just a dent. This is definitely a deluge. This is almost gone, right? This is actually one of my go-to scents last year for it is signature scent worthy, another spoiler alert, but this is a go-to fragrance here for me in the fall, and actually going into the cooler months into winter. It's not a dead cold fragrance, but it definitely can cut through the cold. So a little bit about this particular fragrance, right? So this is, again, Cedratessence from Paris Corner. If you look at the notes for Cedratboise, and I have them pulled up right here, Sicilian lemon, black currant, bergamot, and spicy notes at the top, right? Fruity notes, patchouli leaf, and water jasmine in the mid notes. And in the base notes, you have cedar, leather, sandalwood, vanilla, white musk, and moss. If you look at the notes for Cedratessence, man, same exact notes with the exception of a couple of little variations. So Cedratessence has Sicilian lemon, black currant, bergamot, and instead of spicy notes, it has or what it calls herbal notes, more green notes. That's going to come to play as we kind of push into a little bit more of why this scent gets so many compliments. So in the mids, again, fruity notes, patchouli leaf, and water jasmine. You have cedar, leather, sandalwood, vanilla, white musk, and moss. I will tell you right now, the leather that it purports to have in this particular fragrance is non-existent, right? You don't really have that leather. So it's, matter of fact, let me just kind of go into what this fragrance actually is. So it is actually what we would consider your cedratboise if you were to take the leather note out. If you were to kind of pull that leather note back a little bit, so it doesn't make it, it's still masculine, but it's not that like horse masculine. It's not like coming at you, you know, really hard. The spicy notes, it pulls back those spicy notes as well. And like I said, replaces it with more green notes in this, right? So what that does at the top is it actually smooths it out. What it does is those herbal notes, that green, it actually allows the vanilla in here to be accentuated more than the leather would be in the cedratboise. And to be completely honest, they do amp up the amber feeling and the vanilla in this. This was a more thick fragrance. You know, when you put it on, at least in smell, it's a little richer than your cedratboise, but for different reasons. Cedratboise has that leather in it that brings it more masculine and has more of a punch to it. This one is more of a thickness, not really a punch. The way this plays out on your skin is it basically pushes the vanilla note out. It pushes more of the fruitiness and the sweetness of this particular fragrance out. So while cedratboise doesn't have the same amount of sweetness, it's fruity, but it doesn't really have the sweetness because of the leather and the spice. The herbal notes that are at the top of this that replace the spicy notes allow those sweet aspects of this fragrance to come through. And you guys know what happens when you have a sweet, ambery fragrance, and it has a little bit of fruit at the top too. You already know, man. It is a sneaky king of compliments. As a matter of fact, that's what I call this one. This is the sneaky clone compliment king. This particular fragrance, as you can see by the dent, is a go-to for a reason. It doesn't matter where I'm at. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. It doesn't matter if my wife is with me or not. People will stop and say, hey, what is it that you're wearing? Or, ooh, you smell good. And that's gotten me in trouble a couple of times, I must admit. I have a whole nother bottle of this stacked up, and my wife was like, oh, you got that again, huh? She loved this fragrance. This is one of her favorite fragrances. But as we got people that were a little bit more forward with their compliments, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Now she's kind of like, oh, you wearing that today? Okay. It is that kind of compliment getter. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to get the exact same type of response when you wear it. I can't say that. Everybody's skin is different. But I will say it is worth taking a shot on this, right? So it performs similar to cedratboise. It does have not the same amount of projection. So it'll last on your skin somewhere in the range of about 8 hours. I can smell it sometimes. If I put it on my shirt, I smell it for days. If I'm doing laundry, I'll pick it up and, about to throw it in the laundry. It's like, oh, I was wearing cedratessence that day. So it definitely is good for that. It will stay, especially if you put it on clothes. If you put it on skin, like I said, you're looking at about 6 to 8 hours as far as your skin goes. Projection off your skin, it pumps for about 4 to 5 hours, right? Settles into a skin scent after that. And then, of course, your sillage is going to be busting, around 3 to 4 hours with a good strong sillage on it. That's why I get so many compliments on it, because I'll walk through places and people are just like, what are you wearing? So definitely good for that, right? One of the other things about this particular fragrance, it is très affordable, right? So you can get this on Amazon right now for a little under $30 for this. And this is a 80 ml. They say it's 100 ml. It is a dang lie. This is 80 ml for this particular fragrance. You can get it on Amazon, like I said, for under 30. You can get it on most of the discounters for around the same price. You may actually think about getting this if you think that Cedratboise is a little bit rough. Get this particular fragrance, put your nose on it, see how you like it. It's a good entry point into that DNA that is Cedratboise, right? So that's all I got for you today. Sneaky clone compliment king right here. Make sure you put your hands on it. Like, subscribe. Make sure you share it with somebody who loves fragrances so they can get on board too. If you have any ideas for me to, or some fragrances for me to go ahead and review, hey, just let me know. I'm always party to spend a little money on that, even though my wife might not be on board with that, but that's what we're doing here. So in any event, talk to you guys later. Make sure that, again, you like, subscribe, and put the notification bell on so you know when I make these posts. Until next time, peace out.